What's up guys, Brennan here, back with another video. Today we're going to be learning the song Idea 10 by Gibran Alcocer. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. This is definitely a highly requested song, so I'm super excited to show you guys how to play it. Before we get into the video, I want you to take a second and consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me out a lot here on YouTube, and it helps ensure that other people can find my tutorials too. And it also helps you guys out because then you don't miss out on any of my future content. And with that, let's get right into the video. So I will not be doing a preview of this song because the arrangement that I'll be teaching is exactly as per the original song. So feel free to pause the video and go and listen to that before we get started. Okay, so we're gonna start with the right hand melody. You're gonna have your thumb here on G, pointer finger on B flat and C, and you're gonna go. So that's G, G, B flat, C, B flat, C. Then you go G, G, A, B flat, A, B flat. Then you go G, G, B flat, A, G, F, G. So that all together is Then you repeat the very first section. Okay, then this part changes and you go D, C, B flat, G, A, then you go B flat, A, B flat. So that's then you go G, 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 B flat, A, G, A, G, F, G, A, B flat. So all together that's next part. Now we're going to get into the left hand. So you're going to be doing these little jumping. So your hand's going to have to move back and forth quite a bit. So just keep that in mind. But first you start with your pinky on C. And then you play C and D sharp. And you go twice. So it's C. Then your pinky goes to G. And you're playing it twice again. So you're kind of jumping back and forth. Okay. Next one, G, and then the two you hit up here are B flat and D. So it's, and then you hit G up here. So that's G down here. These two, G up here. Okay, then we jump down here to F. And the two you hit here are middle finger on A and thumb on D. So it's, and then you hit the F up here. Okay, then you jump down here to D sharp, and then you hit third finger on G and thumb on B flat, and you go, and then you hit the D sharp up here. So let's go through this left hand again, starting with C, right? Up to G, down to G, these two, G, go to F, move this, down here. So then that entire thing repeats. But then the last little part is different. You go. So that's staying on this one, D sharp, G, go. Then you go back to G sharp, and then you go to G and C. Then you go back to D sharp, and then you go to B flat and D. So that's next one, last one, 1, 2, 3, and hold it. So all together it's okay, that's quite a bit of jumping, so I do recommend pausing the video just to practice that and get it down. So we're gonna go through both hands together here. Now you come in. Switch to G. Now when we go to B flat, we switch to G down here. Now we switch to F when we go to the A. Down to D sharp. Now we're starting over in the left hand. So it's a little bit tricky. So it's C, G, and then the right hand comes on that sequence. So it's G, then you switch down to G here, F when you go to the A, now we do this part. Then when we move to A is when we hit the D sharp. These two together. That's so basically is played each time you hit this D sharp. So it's together, together, together. Okay, so then we get to the fun part where it's like okay, so we're going to start with the right hand because good news, the left hand is actually exactly the same as what we learned before. So the right hand, you're going to first have your pinky here on C, pointer finger on G, and thumb on D sharp. So that's, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, from the top to the bottom. You're going to do that 3 times. And then you're going to go, so that's C, B flat, A. So try that. Again. Okay, next little series of 3 that you're gonna do 3 times is B flat, A, and D. And you're gonna do that 3 times. So then after you do the 3, you're gonna go B flat, A, G. So it's, so all together, let's try these. Next one. Okay, so the fingering is going to be a little bit tricky. Then you want to go with your 3rd finger up to A, F, and D. And that's going to be the series of 3 that you do top to the bottom 3 times. And then you go A, G, F, G. And then you go thumb on D, pointer finger on G, A, B flat, and you go. Okay, so let's try this all together. Next one. Next one. And then it repeats. Now, the second time you repeat this whole thing, you go a little bit differently. It's very similar. So the first one's the same, except you go 1, 2, 3. But the 3 keys after that, instead of it being, you're actually going to go pinky on D, then you're going to go down to this B flat, and then you're going to go to A. So it's, try that. Okay, then the rest of it's exactly the same. Next one. Okay, so then at this point it's a little bit different again. It goes, so it's, this is a little bit tricky to get the hang of, so it's, and then you go right back up, G. So it's, one more time. Then you go A, B flat. Okay, so let's try both of these sections together. Feel free to pause the video and practice that. Now, like I said earlier, the left hand is exactly the same. So we just have to put this left hand that you already know in with the new right hand part. They're going to start at the same time. So earlier you were starting the right hand before the left hand. Now you start at the same time. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now when we go to do the next group of 3 that you repeat, that's when you need to switch to the G. Okay, now when you go to move to this group of 3 is when you switch to the F. So they kind of go with each other. Okay, now when you go to G is when you go down here to the D sharp. Then we start together to section 2. So that, remember, we're going higher up there, so that's, now we do the same thing when we go to this group of 3. Okay, this group of 3 with the F. Next part. Just like we learned earlier. So all together, let's just go through this again. I'm going to say switch when you need to move in the left hand. Switch. 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 Now we start over. Switch. Switch. Last one. Now the next part, playing the same left hand for this next part, but the right hand's a little bit different, so I'll go ahead and play it for you here. So it's, and then you do like a little roll back and forth between D and D sharp. So it's, and then you go C, B flat, C, D. So it's, one more time. Then you go B flat, A, D, G. And then it goes G, A, B flat, C, D, and then it starts over. So it's, and then it goes back to the beginning. And then it goes D, F, A, B flat, G, A, B flat. So all together, I'll do it nice and slow. And the left hand is the same. So we're going to go ahead and put both together here. Then we switch. So that's a little bit of a tricky timing. So it goes same time. Then we go on the little roll back and forth. So it's, so I'll try and do it as slow as I can. So think of like the, when you do this D here at the beginning, it should be matched up with these two. So it's same time, same time. Next one. So now we're doing these at the same time. And then we go to A, right? So A and F should be at the same time. And then we go to the last one, which is G, should be at the same time as this D sharp. So that's same time. Then this one. This little walk up goes in between, so it's, and then before I hit these two is when I start the walk up. So it's same time. This one. So all together, I'll play it just so you can hear the timing of this. Then we repeat back to the beginning. Then we go here. So that D and this one at the same time. Then we switch. Last one when we go to the G. Okay, so I'm going to play through it without talking. So then at this point you repeat that earlier section just like we learned. Right, it's exactly the same. Next part. Exactly the same. Okay, so now we get into the next part. So we basically have the roll, but there's a slight difference. So I'm going to play through and then show you the thing that you do different. So this is all the same at the beginning. Next part is the same. Next part's the same. Okay, then I go, so it's like a little roll. So that's A, B flat, A, G, A, B flat. So it's, and then I play the rest the same. So all together it would be like this. First chunk. Second chunk. Okay, so feel free to practice that. And the left hand is exactly the same as the previous section. So together it would be like this. So it's, so let's go through this again, nice and slow. So it basically comes in between this one. So you go, and then this is at the same time. So feel free to pause the video and just practice that part. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next section here. So now we get into a new right hand part. So you start with your thumb on G, B flat and C. So it's G, G, B flat, C, and then it goes D, C, B flat, A, G, A. A, B flat, A, G. Then it goes G, G, B flat, C, D, C, B flat, A, G, A, B, C, D, and then we do the G, A, B flat. So I'm going to run through this without me talking. Okay, so the left hand is now, for the first time in this entire song, is going to change. So the left hand for this section is going to be, first one is the same, C, these two, G, these two. Then we do a completely new one, which is F, and then we jump up to A with our third finger and C with our thumb. So it's, and then we do the F up here. Then the next one is G, and then you have third finger on B flat and thumb on D, and you go, then you hit B flat, and then the last one is the same as earlier where you jump down to D sharp and then G and B flat, and then up here. So all together we have our C, new one, F, G, B flat, D sharp. Then that whole thing repeats. Then we do that little like earlier. D sharp, G and B flat, D sharp, G and C, and then D sharp, B flat, D. So it's okay, so now we're going to put both hands together here. So, and then we come in on both C's at the same time. So it's and then when we move to the A here is when we jump down to the F. When we move up to the B flat is when we do to the G. And then when we go down to here, G, is when we do the D sharp. Both C's together again. Next one. Next one. These at the same time. Now we get to the walk up. So I'm going to play through that again without talking. Okay, so now we get into a little bit of a crazy part in the right hand. So we're taking kind of that shell of what we were playing earlier with the loop. But we're going to add some little in between there. So I'm going to go over and show you how to do it exactly. So first one you play, and then you go. So that's C, D, C, B flat, and then it goes G, A, G, F, G. So let's practice that little half first. So first one. Next one. Third one. Okay, feel free to practice that. Full speed, it should sound like this. Okay, now the second half is going to go A, B flat, A, G, A, B flat. So it's going to go. So try that. And then we start over on the first one again. And this is the same. Next one. Third one is the same. And then the walk up. Okay, so to go through that second half, then it's walk up. Okay, so now we're going to put both these together. It's a little bit tricky. So here we go, starting the whole section both together. Okay, so just to isolate this one more time, we have the first one, then the little second one, third one, then the little loop, then the next loop, then the first one again, loop, next one, okay, feel free to pause the video and practice that. Luckily, the left hand is the same as how you were playing it with the earlier sections. Okay, so now we just gotta put these loops in with the normal part. So here we go, both hands together. So remember, we're starting at the same time, just like we did earlier in the song. Now, before I hit this second group of 2, I go, okay? So it's, so that's, one more time. Now, when I go to G is when I'm starting on this next one. Third one. Now we do the loop. Okay, then we have that little second loop. So it's left hand, then the right hand. Okay, then we move to the next part. Back at the original C. Next one. Third one. Walk up. Okay, so I'm going to play through that whole section with both hands without me talking. Okay, then we have the very last part until we get to the end. So in the left hand, you're going to be playing chords, which is a group of 2 or more keys played at the same time. So first one's going to be G, C, and D sharp. Then you move to keep your pinky on G, and you have B flat and D. So it's G, B flat, D. Then we move down to pinky on F, middle finger A, thumb on C. Then lastly, we move down to D sharp, G, B flat. So that is this one, this one, this one, this one. Then we have that original shell of the left hand part. So it's going to be played like this together. Then we switch when we get to the B flat. switch when we go to the A. Then G and this one at the same time. All right, guys, and there you have it. That is the entire piano tutorial for Idea 10 by Gibran Alcocer. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed learning this tutorial, and if you did, please consider subscribing to my channel. It does help me out as a YouTuber, and it also helps ensure that other people can find my videos too. Don't forget to create art, and I'll see you guys next time.